Welcome back to Rory and Sage World Class. This episode is a little bit different from what we normally do. During our visit to Munich, Germany, we tried some Bavarian foods. We show you our full-time travel routine and talk about local history. But most importantly, we share our personal experiences with the trip to Dachau. We visited a German concentration camp from World War II. Mom and Dad wondered if us seeing a concentration camp was too much for us. But was it too much for us? Continue watching to find out. Cue the intro. Welcome to Munich, Germany. It happened again. Mom and Dad had to show their vaccine cards to eat here. We're in Munich and we're having a Bavarian pencil. Bavaria is the German state where Munich is located. It's very hard. And it doesn't come with any dipping sauce. I have Wiener Schnitzel, which is breaded chicken. And I have a brick roast, potatoes, and cabbage salad. Just kidding, it looks like dumplings. Now that's a pizza. This is a choco box. It's chocolate mousse with fruit. And this is an apple strudel with vanilla ice cream. Good morning, it's the next day. Today we had a life maintenance day. What is a life maintenance day? It is a day you spend time getting yourself together so you can enjoy the days you are traveling. Here we are getting some schoolwork done in the hotel lobby. Then we did our laundry. While our laundry was washing and drying, we got some exercise in. Then we took some time to learn about the area. Sage even practiced the new hairstyle. I just did Rory's hair and I did 2 French braids and I turned them into buns. Then we went out to eat some more Bavarian food. We stopped into a Euro shop to pick up some essentials and Dad got his hair cut. Good morning. Today we are going to take a train to go see the Dachau concentration camp. Dachau was the first concentration camp in Germany. We took the train and the bus to get to Dachau. Dachau is about 40 minutes outside of Munich. Visiting the concentration camp was a big deal. We were interested in the history, but the stories we learned here were very heavy and we did not take it lightly. This concentration camp was originally for political... Look at that! This concentration camp was originally for political prisoners.
Yes, okay. Yes, okay, thank you.
They just checked my parents' vaccination cards to enter. This is the entry gate to the concentration camp. This means work will set you free in Germany. This is the main office. This area right here is where they did the roll call in the morning and the evening. This is one of the guard shacks. This is where the guards made sure that no one escaped. This is the prison camp where the political prisoners were kept. Within the concentration camp, there was actually a museum that explained the history in detail. Dachau was the very first concentration camp, but it did not start as one. The camp was originally a prison and slowly evolved into a concentration camp during World War II. The museum had artifacts of things that were taken from the people as they entered the camp. The museum showed how people were processed as they arrived at the camp. It was difficult to hear how badly the prisoners were treated. This is what their uniform looked like. The uniforms were often too big or too small for the prisoners. Here's a hat, a jacket, and a shoe. One of the things we found interesting in the history of this camp was the American forces liberated it in 1945. During the 12 years this concentration camp was operating, over 200,000 prisoners were brought here. Many of the prisoners were forced into hard labor. When they weren't working, they lived in the barracks. This is what their beds looked like. They were bunk beds, and often up to 6 people would have to sleep in one bed. The bunk beds were 3 levels high. The actual barracks were destroyed after World War II because they were infested with bugs and diseases. These are replicas that were made after. Here is a model of the bathroom facility that the prisoners had to share. This is the washroom. These are the rows and rows of foundation left from the houses. The barracks had to be destroyed, but they left the foundations where the barracks stood. Each row had a barrack that housed more and more prisoners. It is hard to imagine the buildings being filled with innocent people. There are 3 memorials for lives that were lost here: Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish. There was also a Russian Orthodox memorial. Now we are coming up to the crematorium, the most difficult part of our visit to Dachau. The crematorium is where many people were killed in the gas chambers and then cremated. Over 40,000 people were killed at this concentration camp. The experience was very hard for us, and we took it very seriously. Each room of the crematorium had a different purpose. The prisoners were told that they would be cleaned and showered. First, they walked through a sanitizing hallway. Then they were told to disrobe for the shower room. People were told to enter the shower room not knowing their fate. When they entered the shower room, gas would be released and it was deadly poison. This is it, the gas chamber. After the gas chamber, the bodies were taken into this room and then processed in the crematorium. This is where the bodies were cremated into ashes. This is the crematorium. The last room we passed through was used to store corpses from the prisoner camp. Next to the crematorium is a pathway that leads to where the SS guards discarded the ashes. There are several grave sites set up for the unknown victims of the concentration camp. After watching Sage clear off the gravesite, Mom and Dad knew we were not only mature enough to handle what we just saw, but empathetic to the lives lost. This is the execution wall, used at the concentration camp. If you look closely, you can even see the bullet marks still in the wall. Here is another location where the ashes were discarded. It is now a gravesite. After a long but informative day, it was time to head back to the hotel. Bye, Munich. Now it's time to head to Zurich. See you there.